Good morning on 93.5 The Eagle, Kingpin Radio with Paul Sullivan and Billy W. Merritt. Billy, how you doing this morning, buddy?
Very good, Paul. We got a great show, man. I appreciate you being here and making this thing as great as it is.
I'll tell you what, Kingpin Radio, this thing is going to get huge. I mean, we're just getting rolling, getting started, but we got some fans already, and we've got somebody that we're big fans of already, too. Miss Elena Cardone is on the line with us on the phone. Good morning, Elena. How are you?
Good morning. I'm a huge fan of you guys, and this will definitely be a hit show.
Well, Elena, now you've had a whole bunch of different things in your past. Tell our listeners a little bit about where you're from, what you're doing, that kind of stuff.
Well, I was raised in New Orleans, Louisiana, and that was a very interesting experience. And then I moved to Los Angeles when I was 17 and began my acting career there. And I've been in, over 150 episodes of television and 15 feature films. And, back in my youth, I was rated Maxim's hottest 100 ever list.
Oh, we noticed that.
Oh, well, thank you.
Well, Elena, being from Louisiana, did you have that New Orleans accent when you were a kid?
Oh, darling, what you talking about, huh? How your mama?
My girl.
That cost me a lot of money to get rid of that accent, okay? In New Orleans, it's like, just comes right back to me.
How long did it take you to lose the accent?
Oh, well, I still say y'all, so I think some of my money went down the drain, but it took a while. First of all, I didn't even realize I had an accent, so getting over that hump was hard enough.
Elena, this is Billy. I've traveled around the country myself, and as you can tell, I have a very southern accent. Did you find in your travels that some places they just ate it up and they loved it?
Oh, yeah. Like New Orleans sounds a lot like New York, and so people are always like, huh? Some things that you say, and, that's always fun. I love to hear different dialects on people as well. I say stick with your roots. Exactly.
Be who you are. Well, let me ask you this. We know where you're from, or where you came from there in New Orleans. Tell us a little bit about where Elena Cardone is today.
Today, I am down in gorgeous Miami Beach, Florida, and I moved here about a year and a half ago, and I just absolutely love it here. I'm back in the South, although Miami doesn't really feel like the South. Miami feels like, very multicultural. It's just gorgeous down here. I love the weather. I love the people. It's a beautiful city, but I'm really glad to be here. I'm shooting a reality TV show with my husband called Whatever It Takes.
Whatever It Takes.
And if you don't know my husband, Grant Cardone, yes, he can be reached at Twitter at Grant Cardone, as well as me, Elena Cardone. But we're shooting a reality show that has some deals in play now, so we're trying to get that up and running, and it promises to be a very fun, enthusiastic show. If it makes it on the air, it will be a true jewel in my flock of acquired things.
If you have not seen Whatever It Takes, go to YouTube. Just search Grant Cardone. You get about at least 1,000 videos pop up there, but search for Whatever It Takes. It's a great show. Make some comments on there. Spread the word. Get your YouTube account, guys. Too many people that's trying to make it in the world, trying to be successful. You're not using the technology that's out there for you. YouTube is a very powerful tool, and I think Grant Cardone, if you don't know that name, Google Grant Cardone, and you'll find out real quick who he is and what he's about. He's an excellent car guy. I get a lot of my methods from Grant, a lot of his techniques. He's a big-time real estate guy. If you go to his website, you'll see all the accreditations and Fox and all the CNBCs and all the tremendous financial shows that he's been on. He's a heck of an investor and got some great ideas. And I want to ask you about one of those ideas, Elena, that we've kind of touched on it. The Oscars were just a couple of days ago, and everybody on there was just tweeting away. I think you threw a few tweets out there as well, didn't you?
I threw a few tweets out, but, no one is as good of a master as Grant Cardone, because remember when Ellen took the picture of the whole group and she wanted to be the one? Yeah. Well, Grant took the photo of the TV while they were doing it and actually sent the tweet out first and had hundreds of retweets even before Ellen posted hers. He's so creative. He's such a master at that. And we're always working the social media. He is a lot better at it than I am. But he has the book, which you know about, the 10X rule. And part of it is taking massive action and doing whatever it takes to get there. And, some of these greats like Jeff Foxworthy, I just found out Jeff Foxworthy did 3 interviews a day for over a couple years before he was even known. That's like 1,000 a year before and that's my point is that's what it takes to really get your name out there, repeat it over and over and over until finally people start to know you as the one that dominates the space.
Exactly.
That's what you need to do for these new business geniuses that are coming out there, they have to just keep going and making themselves known and don't think that, oh, I'm doing too much, I'm going to lose fans. Well, that's not the case. For every person that you lose, you pick up 10 more. You know, you've got to just keep putting yourself out there so that people go, oh, the pet groomer guy. Yeah, that's my guy. That's who I go to when I need to get my pet groomed, you know?
Absolutely. Let me ask you this, Elena. What do we do when we start getting a little negative criticism, you know? I mean, nobody likes to have their feelings hurt or, you know, say your project's not that good or get some negative feedback. What do you do then?
Well, what I do and what Grant Cardone does are two different things. What I do is I get my feelings hurt and try to push on beyond that. What Grant does is he welcomes it. He loves the haters. He has a philosophy that every successful person has haters. There's not one person that is massively successful that doesn't have the haters. So for him, it just validates what he's doing right, and it motivates him to continue to do even more because, let's face it, Justin Bieber, 50 million followers on Twitter, I think Justin has, but he probably has maybe 2 million haters, but hey, he'll take the 2 million haters for the 50 million followers. That's along the lines he thinks on. Instead, where I'll get my feelings hurt, he just persists. And ultimately, that is the right thing to do, is just acknowledge it and go, right on, I'm on the right track. People are starting to know me. I'm collecting my haters.
There you go. I started getting a couple of haters, so I must be on the right track. And I tell you what, speaking of haters, you know, Ellen did a good job the other night. She got 3.4 million when last time I checked retweets of that photo that Grant took first, we must say. But Donald Trump, he was blasting every 3 minutes. He was really promoting. He didn't know what he was doing. He was trying to bring bad publicity out. But man, he threw a lot of negative tweets out there, and it really got the base fired up. You know, Ellen, she broke a new record, I believe, didn't she?
She did. She beat President Obama, who held the record prior to her. I think Ellen did a fantastic job. She's using social media. She brought so much energy and life into the show. That's a whole different story. It was one of my favorite Oscars that I've seen in a long time.
Well, Ellen she is so very creative and really makes it fun for the younger audience, the Twitters and all that kind of stuff. But then at the same time, you know, the 70-year-old grandmas that are watching the Oscars, they love Ellen too. That's what's so fantastic about her.
Another New Orleans gal, I might point out.
Now, Elena, we know that you've done some modeling. Obviously, you've done acting, you've done theater and TV and film and all kinds of things like that. But you're also a big sports type person, and you also fix vintage cars, I read. How in the world did you get into that?
Well, honestly, my father wanted 2 boys and ended up with 2 girls. So I was the younger. He said, okay, I'll make do with this one. So I was just a tomboy. It's kind of hard to believe now because I'm so girl now. Part of me goes, where is that chick? I want her back because I used to be fearless. But yeah, I mean, my father was a world champion sporting clay. Well, actually, he shot pigeons, which I'm a vegetarian. I've never shot an animal in my life. But yes, I don't mind shooting clay pigeons. And so I was shooting a shotgun by the age of 11, 12. Then I continued it, and when I was in California competing, I was ranked 10th.
Awesome.
Yes, thank you very much. 10th out of the whole state of California for sporting clay.
Well, you're getting our fan base fired up right now because we are in shotgun country. I can promise you that. This is not that much of a vegetarian area. There's a few of us who try to live the vegan lifestyle, but for the most part, we're a bunch of red-blooded hunters, and that's great. They follow us, and they retweet us, and we're trying to get them to use social media to promote us. If you want to see Elena Cardone with a shotgun, that sounds very appealing to me. Have we got any photos anywhere we can look at, Elena?
I'll have to investigate that. There might be some on my Facebook page, okay. Elena Lyons. I'll accept, and then you can just go look at photos. And when I did I hate to bring it up again, but when I did the Maxim interview, that was one of the things they came out and filmed me shooting because I think they thought that was fascinating too. You know, out in California, that is definitely not shotgun land, so that piqued their interest back then. So
certainly unique in Hollywood.
It's definitely unique in Hollywood. You know, I love 60s muscle cars, and back in the day, I collected a few. I had a 65 Chevelle Malibu RSSS that I just changed the motor out, and I mean, you know, high performance cam. I mean, I don't know how technical your audience is, but I just tinkered on a few cars back then, and you know, 67 Camaro. I mean, I really learned about cars by hanging out with group of friends at the time. So it's not something I'm doing currently, but I do still have a passion for that 60s muscle.
Well, you know, now, Elena, the 67 Camaro is my all-time favorite car. So if you're just if you're bored with it and you just want to get rid of it, you want to just hand it to somebody to drive, I'm available.
I got rid of all my vehicles, but yeah.
Horsepower and shotguns with Elena Cardone. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
There's your reality TV show right there.
I can hang out with the, who are they? Not the guys.
Yeah.
The swamp, the ones, the big ones.
Oh, Duck Dynasty.
Yeah, Duck Dynasty.
Well, now, Elena, I always like to run through a couple of what I call quick choice questions. It kind of gives us just a real quick, brief insight. And some of these are, they're just kind of silly questions. So you can only pick one or the other, okay? So I'm gonna run through these really fast. So they're kind of just, first reaction answers, okay? So you ready?
Deal.
Film or TV?
TV.
TV or theater?
TV.
Acting or modeling?
Acting.
Pudding or Jell-O?
Jell-O.
Shotgun or shot of whiskey?
Shotgun.
Sweet tea or golf tee?
Sweet tea.
Kobe Bryant or Kobe beef, Miss Vegetarian?
Kobe Bryant.
Charlie Sheen or Mark Harmon?
Mark Harmon. I played opposite of him into a Navy NCIS.
Mark Harmon or Chuck Norris?
Chuck Norris.
And lastly, Van Halen with David Lee Roth or Sammy Hagar?
David Lee Roth.
There it is. That's my girl. I like this one.
Rock on, baby.
Well, you did a great job on the quick choice questions. Fantastic answers on. I knew once you had mentioned that you were a vegetarian, I knew the answer on Kobe Bryant and Kobe beef. So that was kind of a gimme.
Also, I was in LA when he led us to the champion, the Lakers, so many times. So I got to still keep my loyalty there.
Well, now, do you think Kobe's going to come back just as good as he was, or do you think he's going to have to realize that he's coming to the end of his career?
I think he's going to have to realize.
So do I.
I mean, I hate to be that negative, but don't you?
Yeah, I absolutely do. He's a fantastic player, obviously a Hall of Famer, won all the rings, but yeah, plus they just don't have a team to build around him. I don't see the Lakers doing anything in the next 3 years.
Yeah, no, we got to focus on other things, like the Saints. We got to get them back, winning another Super Bowl.
Now, you do realize, we're based in Georgia, so we got Falcon fans here.
Yeah, but
She's a saint.
And I was born and raised in Chicago, so I'm a Bears fan. So we got a whole bunch of different fans going on here.
Hey, but that's all right. It's all sports, so it's all good.
That's right.
Do you remember Willie Gault?
Absolutely.
He used to be a really good friend of mine in Los Angeles.
Yeah, really nice. I met him I was in '85 when they won the Super Bowl. I met him at a banquet. I was just graduating high school, and got to shake his hand. So I was pretty impressed. He was a super nice guy.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, he is super sweet.
Other things besides sports. Now, I know you've done modeling, you've done TV. By the way, when I say you've done TV, you've done a lot of successful shows. You mentioned Mark Harmon. You were on CSI or NCIS. You were also on CSI. Ally McBeal, Walker, Texas Ranger, 2.5 Men, 8 Simple Rules, Las Vegas. I mean, the list is really long. You can go to Elena's website and see her bio. If you had to pick one or two, what was the most memorable experiences for you?
Oh, man. Well, I shot a movie down in Puerto Rico where Stacy Keach played my father and Bo Derek was my mother. And I was there, I think, almost 2 months. And that was just very memorable. Like, I love that. Then I modeled, which wasn't as fulfilling as the acting, but I modeled in Japan. I was in Tokyo for 2 months. And that was just another experience that was just one of those life experiences that was so worth it. And I wouldn't have had the opportunity had I not been doing that, So those two things really stick out.
Now, you've obviously transcended into the whole YouTube thing. You do a lot of videos on YouTube promoting yourself. What could you, if you had to give some advice to a young girl that's wanting to make it, obviously, men too, but with you being having the female perspective, what advice would you give a young girl who maybe wants to go into acting or modeling or something in the entertainment field?
Well, for sure, stay away from drugs. That's number one. But two, study the craft. Find a really good acting school, or look at some films. Start studying people in life. Doing the theater in your local area. See if you have an agency in your area. Go talk to someone over there. Say, hey, what does it take? And line yourself up and start following the people that you admire and studying their work and following them on Twitter and Facebook or wherever, and seeing what it is that they do and start trying to do that yourself.
So now those are some professional, that's some professional advice. What about personal? It's just somebody who wants to kind of get their act together, if you will. A lot of younger folks, even some older folks, kind of floundering, don't really know which way to go, how to get going. Personally, what kind of advice would you give to somebody for that?
Well, that becomes like a decision that they have to make, but for me, it's do whatever it takes. Everything is about do whatever it takes.
Did you see how she slid that in there,
Absolutely.
Billy?
Hashtag.
You see, hashtag whatever it takes. I would say if they're really serious about trying to figure it out, it's grow up. Make the phone calls, reach out to people, show up, find who you want to work for, and target that person, not like 500 emails out or resumes to some automated service. Like, find the people you want to work for, study them, go show up at their place of business, tell them you're willing to work as an intern or for free just show dedication. Like, you have to be creative. They have to be creative and going after what they want, and then you commit, and then you figure it out later.
So if I hear you correctly, and I think I do, you got to get their attention.
Get their attention. You have to be creative. You have to be willing to be a risk taker. You have to be willing to stand out. You have to be willing to go above what everybody else is willing to do in order to get noticed. It's not just about talent. A lot of talent gets bypassed or missed because they're not willing to, be the highest monkey up the tree, as they say in Jamaica. They have this saying in Jamaica that says, the monkey highest in the tree is the one who gets looked at or whatever.
That's cool. I love Jamaica. As a matter of fact, almost 2 years ago, I got married in Jamaica, right there at Montego Bay. That's a beautiful place, and I got to experience that lifestyle, and I love the accent. I love the way you just nailed it right there.
Yeah, you have to be willing to set yourself apart from everybody else, and a lot of the times it's the monkey that makes it highest up the tree that gets the job, even though they are not as talented as some of the other ones, but they were willing to climb the highest and do the work to take what it did to get there.